Alright, so this video is being created prior to Regional Championship Atlanta that I'm qualified for, and I'm making this video basically just to cover what kinds of things you're going to need to take with you on a big trip such as this, particularly a Magic event. So first I'm going to cover all of the non-Magic stuff like clothes, snacks, etc., and then we'll cover all the Magic stuff. So obviously you're going to want a carrying case. I prefer to just have one overhead piece of luggage that I can take, not have to check in anything. It makes the process easier. You don't have to worry about your luggage being lost, and you don't have to carry around too many things. And so I'm going to demonstrate how we're going to be able to fit every single thing here into this one carrying case, including the backpack with all of the cards and whatnot in it. I should also specify that this is for specifically US flights. I'm not sure what other things you'd need to know for international flights, but this is related to flying in America. So you're gonna want snacks, of course. Convention center food can be quite expensive and can vary in quality. I've had some convention center food that wasn't too expensive and was pretty good, and then I've had others that are bad. So just various snacks that you can take with you. So, Chewy bars, raisins, crackers, etc. Whatever is your favorite. The most important thing is it's non-perishable and easily eaten without making too much of a mess, either on the plane itself or once you land. You could also, of course, just go to a grocery store once you get to your destination, but that requires another trip, so I prefer just to have all my snacks with me. Water bottle for getting water while you're in the convention. Of course, you can't take this much liquid with you on a plane, so you will have to empty the bottle, or again, you could just buy a new bottle once you get there. Then, of course, there's going to be all your clothes, so multiple pairs of shirts, shorts or pants or skirts if you're female, socks for shoes, underwear, etc. You're gonna need however many copies of those for how many days you're staying, plus a little extra wiggle room in case, I don't know, maybe your shirt gets torn or you get dirt and grime over it or whatever. For whatever reason, you don't want to reuse or you run out of the amount that you thought you had allotted to you in one trip, so you just bring along multiple. A jacket, obviously you don't need this if you're going somewhere warm, but if you're going somewhere that might be cold, even if it's only a possibility, it's better to have a jacket or a coat, even if you wind up not using it. I've got my team jersey here. And then all the other things, so a toiletries bag with everything that you're gonna need for that, so pairs of floss for multiple days there. Toothpaste, again, you can't take liquids with you on planes that much. This is under the amount. I believe the amount is you can't have 4 ounces worth of liquid, so this is half an ounce, so it should be good on the plane. Razors, toothbrush, tweezers, obviously your wallet and the phone I'm using to record this. This is a portable charger, so this is if your phone runs out of battery, either again while you're on the plane or at the convention, you can charge it if you don't have a wall outlet to charge from. Then you want your cables, so this is going to be for plugging your phone into a outlet, and this is for plugging the charger itself into an outlet. Obviously you're going to want a portable charger in case your phone isn't compatible with the chargers there, and usually most phones are not, and you have like USB connections rather than a typical wall outlet. Earbuds, again on the plane, whatever. And then I have wired earbuds. These are my old ones from my iPod. This is in case, again, these run out of power. So you can just jack these directly into your phone, or again, if you're on the plane, maybe they'll have a headphone jack that you can plug this into. And so that is basically all the things you're typically gonna need. This doesn't cover every single thing. You might have extra stuff. If you're a woman, maybe you're bringing makeup or other things like that, tampons, etc. I don't have any special conditions, like I don't need sleep aids or anything like that, but tailor this to how you would need it. And specifically, I like to write down a list of every single thing I'm gonna need, and then when the day before I'm about to leave, I can pack all of this and check off every single one of these items as I add them to my luggage. So then here's what you're gonna need Magic related. So I've got my Collector Legion playmat. Doesn't matter what playmat you have, but you're just gonna want a playmat. Means that your cards are not sliding around on potentially dirty surfaces or surfaces that have an uneven or rough texture to them, damaging either the cards or sleeves. So you do want one of these. You need something to record life totals. So this is a boogie board with stylus that you can write on and then reset here. However, boogie boards are powered and could break. I mean, they are not just your typical pen and paper. So you do want a pen and paper in case you need to use it. Now, I personally prefer boogie boards because they're reusable and they don't create any waste. But again, you do need a backup in case these fails. Although it's unlikely, but just in case. So then there's of course your deck box, sleeves, dice, the deck itself, and a sideboard guide, so I'm going to cover that. So first of all, I like a deck box that has multiple compartments like this, so that you can just hold all of this stuff in one deck box. You don't need a separate container for dice, like a separate dice bag, for example. You just have everything here, and then you can just pull it out and you just have one box. So these go here. Then your deck, obviously. Make sure that the deck that you have matches the deck list that you're submitting. And you also want to make sure that all of the sleeves are good. So these are all fresh. I bought new sleeves ahead of time. And for a typical event, just any old sleeves are fine, but you probably want new sleeves at a big event like this. So specifically, take a look over here. So this is the Magic cards that I have that I use in all sorts of things. So these are like all the staples, everything you're gonna need here. Goodbye Fury. And this would normally be fine, but these are old. And so older sleeves can have a number of problems. They can wear out from sun exposure, and so some might be slightly different shades, like slightly lighter or darker than others. They sometimes get this issue where they have like wavy tops. I'm not sure how clear this is going to come out on camera, but the tops or sides of the cards might not be perfectly straight and aligned with all of the others. They also tend to get dirty, and they might have like dirt all over the front, which you can sometimes just scrape off, but really you just want to make sure you're not going to have any issues regarding potentially accidentally marked cards. So you're gonna want pack fresh new sleeves. So I've got my 60 card main here. I've got a divider that divides the main board from the sideboard. And any tokens you're gonna want, I got my little on an adventure token. And then obviously the sideboard. So then we can put the extra sleeves that I don't need over here in this compartment. So whatever your preferred brand of sleeve is, I like Dragon Shields, but you know, whatever you prefer. They typically don't split. In fact, I've almost never had them split, but you have extras anyway. So they come in packs of 100 regardless, which is more than you need for your 75, I guess, unless you're playing a Yorion deck, but you still should have some extras even then. So just the extras in case they split or whatever. And then you can put your sideboard here in the deck compartment, and then the main board. So that'll all fit there. And then there is the sideboard guide. So this is the sideboard guide. You can just make this in Excel or Google Sheets or whatever. Just shows, here's all the different matchups and all the cards you need to take in and out of those matchups. Sideboard guides are not necessarily completely straightforward. Like you might have slightly different decisions whether you're on the play or draw. Decks might be slightly different. So like for example, I have Cling to Dust in my deck. So I said against Rakdos midrange or Rakdos sack. If they're not playing Kroxa, then I can take Cling to Dust out. But if they are playing Kroxa, then I want Cling to Dust. So all those notations like that. Now, as far as practicing in general for the event, it depends on how serious you are, how much you're just either looking to have fun or you want to win the event. But do keep in mind, this is pretty expensive usually. You're typically going to have to buy plane tickets, hotel, etc. So you're looking at probably on average $400 or $500 on your trip just on travel and hotel expenses, not counting eating out, etc. So even if you're into Magic, not so much to try to go pro or whatever, you do want to put some reasonable amount of effort into testing and practicing beforehand. Moto's a good resource. If the formats that you have are legal on Arena, you can use Arena to test. Of course, in real life testing with friends or just any kind of community that you can get together, maybe at your local game store, that's good too. I personally put a lot of time into Moto this season, so I have a video coming out on Phoenix. I'm not sure exactly how long that's going to be and whether it's going to be before or after I release this video, but that video is almost 14 hours of Phoenix Leagues, and that's after editing, so it was probably 2 to 3 times that amount on stream when I was practicing it. And then I also played one real life 1K tournament and practiced a little bit also in real life. So again, it depends on exactly how much effort you want to put in. And then lastly is anything transactional that you're going to be doing at the large event. So for me, I'm going to be selling a bunch of cards. So I've been playing the game since 2010, collecting cards, and a lot of them have just been power crept out of the game via Horizons, Lord of the Rings, etc. So all of these cards, filling this one and this case over here, are now basically not viable anymore, so I'm just going to be selling off all this stuff. If you are someone who enjoys getting your cards signed or maybe have alters made, you want to take those along as well. I have too many cards to fit in a binder, but if you don't have that much, you could just bring a binder instead of these cases. But regardless, you want to take all this stuff. It's easier to sell to the vendors there than it is piecing them out on TCG Player or something, and then you could sell to your local game store, but they're not necessarily going to take all of these cards, and depending on how big they are, they might not even have the capital to buy everything you have. So big conventions like this with large events that have vendors is a good opportunity to offload this. Also, you can a lot of times get better prices than you would, because with so many players congregating in a tournament and being able to flip the cards so fast, they might offer you better deals. So now that I'm done with all of that, I'm gonna show you how you can fit everything here into one single overhead luggage case. So as you can see, it's a tight fit, but everything does in fact fit. So you got everything either on your person or in one carry-on piece of luggage. And then lastly, another piece of personal advice is make sure you don't have anything left undone before you leave. So in particular, things like cleaning and making your bed. You really, really don't want to be in a position where you're coming back from a long weekend. It's mentally and physically taxing. Maybe you're jet lagged depending on the time difference, and you come back and you have a messed up bed that isn't made, and you can't, and you know, make your bed before lying in it. So just don't leave any business unfinished that you can finish before you go. And yeah, those are my tips for traveling to large Magic events.